Hey, everybody. There we go. Get the mic up. Hey, everybody. Welcome to, what are we doing? Church Media Guys Show. We are going to be getting started here in just a minute. I'm waiting for Justin. Got a little pre-show stuff going on right here. Got everything set up. I actually went out and did a shoot this morning with our pastor. Thankfully, we've got a studio at our church, so he and I went in there, and I don't think I'm telling tales out of school. Our pastor, Jared, you guys remember him from the episode last year where we were talking about Story Brand. That's actually one of the episodes, one of the videos that's gotten more play than some others. Hang on, I think that's Justin. Oops, actually, that's another friend of mine. Yes. Someone's asking about how to get the show. Let's see. So our pastor Jared, getting ready to have his third baby. Actually, his wife is. He's not having the baby; she is. But he's going to be out. It could be as soon as this weekend. It could be next weekend. And so he wanted to shoot a video to continue our Bible study series that we're doing on Ecclesiastes. Yes, Ecclesiastes. It's amazing. You guys really ought to check it out because there's some insights that I've never seen. I got to get this line on. There we go. Never seen or heard in relation to Ecclesiastes before. Ecclesiastes always seemed really negative, you know? And in this case, when you study it, it's actually really not, which is amazing. Anyway, so since he's going to be out, he wanted to not lose any momentum. So we shot about a 5-minute piece that is a section or chapter in Ecclesiastes that he's actually not going to be covering in the sermon series, but he wanted to go over, and it's a shorter explanation, I guess, or a shorter topic. So we did it kind of like a web episode, and we'll show it in church, and we'll put it up on the Facebook page. So that's what I was doing this morning. So that's why I've been like frantically trying to get everything started. Let me say hello in the chat room real fast to my buddy Jason. Hi, Jason. How you doing, pal? Let's see. I need to see the chat room. It's over here on my other. Let me bring this over. Like I said, Justin will be joining us here in just a minute. Hey, Ryan McGill, and my old friend Christopher Hall. I'm glad you guys are here. Welcome. Justin will be joining us here in a few minutes. By the way, if you guys don't know what we're doing here, why you're watching us live, or if you're watching the replay, what we're doing is Justin and I do a weekly show called the Church Media Guys Show, and we are, the two of us, the Church Media Guys. I know, go figure. And so basically we do our recording, our podcast recording, our YouTube show, recording now during Justin's lunch break. And so what we do is we go ahead and turn on the live stream and have you guys come in as basically our live studio audience. So we're glad you're here. Everybody say hi in the chat, ask questions. We're going to be talking about motivating volunteers today, which is a really cool subject. Our media ministries and our worship team and, gosh, every ministry in our church basically runs on volunteers when you think about them. You got your church staff, and then you got the people that actually make things happen, and that's the volunteers. But we're talking with Danny Franks, and he is kind of the head of the ministry, the volunteer ministry and stuff at his church, and they've got like 9 campuses. So he's got some really great insights. We're going to share a little bit during our show today, and then of course when you download the podcast in a couple of weeks, I think we're 2 weeks out, production and release. I think we're trying to keep that schedule as much as possible, but you guys will get much more meat in there. But go ahead and ask questions here in the chat. If Danny is available, he will be joining us. And of course, he'll answer your questions and all that sort of stuff. So if you're watching the replay, we're going to be getting started here in a couple of minutes. Justin has finally joined us. How you doing, pal?
What's up, Dave? What's going on, everybody?
Let me get your get a dual screen up. Here. Justin, I want you to say hi to my buddy Jason in our chat. He's joining us live. Jason Nichols. He's a friend of mine. I like to call him a new old friend because he's one of these guys that I've met within the last couple of months. But we like connected like almost immediately and stuff. It's like we've been old friends for. Well, he's considerably younger. He's a millennial. But it's like we've known each other for about 10 years and stuff. He's really cool.
Very cool. What's going on, Jason? I unfortunately cannot see. Okay, wow.
What?
Tommy, if you're watching, I cannot load Facebook.
Really?
And Tommy just commented on YouTube, Facebook is not loading for me.
Interesting. I'm looking at Facebook. How weird.
So I can load my home stuff. Let me try to go to a page. Yeah, it looks like it's pages. Pages are down.
Interesting. On Facebook.
Yeah.
That's
because I can't go to another page. Let me try to go to... Oh, now I can't even get to Facebook home. Oh,
whoa.
It's live, folks. Facebook is down.
Man. I'm going to check somebody in the chat here. Are you seeing things on Facebook? For some, it seems Facebook is down. Interesting. All right, I'm going to on this. This is live,
Try
folks.
To go to our page. Try to go to our page on Facebook.
I'm going to here.
Church Training Academy. I'd put a link in the chat, but I can't get on Facebook. That's it. We're moving to Twitch.
We'll be adding Twitch. We're gonna break some molds. We're gonna add Twitch to our broadcast.
I really want to make some kind of unique show. I don't want to just broadcast to Twitch. I want to have a unique Twitch show. I don't know what it would be though.
Like we don't have enough on our plate already.
Maybe that's where we can do our news coverage because I feel like more people would watch that.
Yeah.
There, even if they weren't connected to church, it'd be a little bit of a ministry, but yeah, or just we play games. We play Fortnite and talk about the news and Fortnite. Fort news.
Let's
Call
see.
of Duty is coming out. I saw a lot of people playing that last night.
Oh man. Okay, so any of you guys that are on Facebook and actually
Hall
can.
said Facebook is goofing up.
Yeah, Facebook is goofing up. So anybody who is on Facebook who can hear me, go ahead and leave Facebook and head over to the YouTube, Church Training Academy.
Oh, man.
Or Church Training Academy on YouTube, youtube.com/Church Training Academy.
And if you are on YouTube right now watching this, and we'll probably say this a few more times, go to getboxcast.com because you can stream all your platforms to your own or you can stream your website. Man, I cannot talk. You can stream to your website. You can stream to multiple platforms like Facebook and YouTube and Twitch, I'm sure. And that way, if one platform goes down, there's no sweat.
Yeah.
Just go to the website. Go to YouTube. That's getboxcast.com.
Yes, Boxcast is awesome. Love Boxcast. That's funny.
All
Okay.
right. Well, YouTube is going to really enjoy getting all this traffic here.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to jump over to the YouTube.
I got to go
fast.
to Reddit and see if anyone else is talking about this. It could be a certain ISP switch that's gone down, which may be why you have it. But
Yeah. It could be a DNS issue, guys. It could be a DNS routing issue. Yeah. Maybe the Russians are attacking us. They weren't happy about that press briefing yesterday.
Sort by new. Checking Reddit. We're doing it. I'm doing it live. I'm checking live.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's reported it yet. Let's go to Is It Down?
By the way, that is a great resource, guys. If y'all are questioning whether a website is down or something, is down, then go to isitdown.com or
isitdownrightnow.com.
Yeah, isitdownrightnow.com. And then you can put in a URL.
For me either.
Maybe it's Edinburgh.
Someone else in the YouTube chat, go to isitdownrightnow.com, or you can just Google "Is it down?" Let me know if that's working for you. It could be another AWS issue. I mean, it's premature to say that.
Did you by the way, in the last 30 days, we have nearly 100,000 views on our YouTube channel.
Really?
Yeah, we've been averaging 47,000 views, and I just saw the numbers just as I was going in there, and it's like 93,000 views, and I believe that's our 30-day. All right, here we go. We are live on YouTube, which is great. That's so weird because I'm still able to see us using the Pages app. Interesting.
so
Okay.
crazy.
All right.
Yeah, Ryan said chat stopped working over on Facebook. Unbelievable. Should I send an email to go to YouTube?
Yeah, do that
'Cause I
real
already
quick.
sent the email.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead and do that real quick.
Okay.
You guys are going to getting to see some behind the scenes stuff here. This is what we're doing, and that's why we're not producing a full production show here because of stuff like that. If I had already run an intro and doing all this, and now we have to manage this live as we're trying to get our show done and stuff. That's why you guys are our studio audience. So if you guys were like watching a sitcom, you guys would be watching them do a scene, 10 times and then moving on to the next scene and stuff. And sometimes this is kind of like a sitcom, wouldn't you say?
I think so. Yeah. I'm the responsible father figure. You're the rebellious teen.
Is that what it is?
And at the end, we end every episode with a lesson.
With a lesson, something that we've learned.
A nice bow wrapped.
Yay, video is working. All right, cool. All right, so Ryan and Christopher and Tommy, if you guys would just keep for us, as you guys are some of our stalwarts here, we're going to put you to work. If you guys would just keep an eye on Facebook and just sort of let us know in the YouTube chat if everything's going okay. We are sending an email back out to the to our email list to let everybody know to come over to Facebook. So that'll be interesting. Oh, I need to load up our interview.
And subscribe if you aren't already.
There you go. ABC, always be closing.
Unless you're Dennis Yu.
Yeah.
Which I think is apt. I would not always be closing on social media. You don't make a lot of asks on social media. You do on email. I think you earn that.
Yep.
But on social media, you do not make asks unless you're paying for it, like an ad. The average purchase price, if anyone wants to know, just marketing research, the average purchase price for someone on Facebook is anywhere from $7 to $30. $30 if they're a very warm audience, meaning they've heard of you, they've interacted with you, they've visited you. If they are brand new, don't know who you are, and you're asking them to buy a ticket to your simulcast, around $7 is what they're willing to pay if they've never heard from you. That's kind of like throwaway money, like, okay, I'm going to buy this, at the end of the aisle kind of thing. So if you're doing a advertisement to someone you've never heard of and you're asking them to pay for a $50 concert ticket to your church, it's probably not going to happen. You got to do that to a warm audience. If you do make an ask on Facebook, keep it less than $10 is a good rule.
Mm-hmm.
But once they're on your email list, they know you, you've warmed them up, you've nurtured them, you earn the right to make that ask, which is why every email that we send you at Church Training Academy asks you to do something. Watch a show,
yep.
Join us live, or become an insider. Sometimes we'll send you like conferences or what was the summits that we do.
Oh yeah, that church summit. Yeah, Justin Summit.
Yeah, we'll send you information about that stuff too. But you're in our list, so you're kind of in our tribe, and we don't sit tight and just twiddle our thumbs and feel good because we like to post. Like, we want you to do stuff. And if you don't want to do stuff, or if you get tired of us asking you to do stuff, feel free to unsubscribe.
Yes.
Anyways, that was just me killing time here. All right, so let me
yeah, we don't want you to unsubscribe, but we'd rather you be actually listening to us and taking.
We want you hot or cold.
That's right.
If you're lukewarm, we'll spit you out of our email list.
Yes. We're learning a lot from our friend Ben Settle. I love the intro to his to the Ben Settle Show podcast. There's a part in Revelation where Jesus tells the church, "I either want you hot or cold, otherwise I'm spewing you out." When people tell me that I need to walk on eggshells, I crack the eggshell, or I stomp all over the eggshells and just let the chips fall where they may.
I was actually talking to someone about that on Twitter, and then we'll get started because I do have to go in 30 minutes.
Okay.
But the pro tip is yours. So if you want to do the pro tip after the volunteer video, that's fine. I was actually talking to someone about that because they were talking about. Okay, let me hit send on this.
Okay.
They were talking about, as much as we know that Jesus loves us, it was a Twitter conversation, so it wasn't this deep. But as much as we know that Jesus and God loves us, no matter what, it's still hard to live a life where you want to please everyone or makes everyone like you.
Mm-hmm.
And a few people commented on it, and I was like, you know what? I said that's absolutely true. But for me, honesty, it kind of turned into anxiety conversation. I was like, anxiety for me is not knowing where we stand. Like, you can hate me, that's fine, because then I can know I can stop wasting my time with you. But like, I innately, you want people to like you. And if they hate you, okay, that's fine. I'm done with you. Let's chat again if you're up to it. But if not, I'm going to go hang out with the people that actually like me.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't care if you hate me or you like me. I just want to know where you stand. And someone DM'd me and was like, hey, no one hates you, right? And I was like, you haven't seen the emails I get sometimes, because I do a daily website and online small business presence tips,
right,
for my own personal brand that I'm building up. And so I'm getting a lot of web developers that are, searching out the competition, sign up for our email list. I do the same thing. And then I do something like I call out, I make fun of TurdPress is what I call it in my emails. And that's my one Ben Settle.
You make fun of WordPress?
make fun of terminology. Yeah, and so then people get real mad and email me back and like, oh, you're not a real web developer, you don't like WordPress, and oh, it's the best platform, I can't believe you told me. And then it's like, okay, that's fine, bye.
Yeah, I'm glad you're passionate too. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Find someone else that's in your tribe, but that's not me.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's my main business, is people that are tired of WordPress. But we use WordPress for Church Training Academy because it's the right decision for our company.
Yes, the right tool for the job.
Right, the right tool for the job. So I work with people that it isn't the right tool for the job. Which if you know what you're doing, WordPress can work for pretty much anything. But the problem is that these local businesses don't know what they're doing, and they don't have someone that knows what they're doing. So they're kind of, how would I say? They're trying to cut a piece of paper with a chainsaw.
Right.
So really, they just need a pair of scissors.
That's right. And you provide the pair of scissors, and then we can always upgrade them to a chainsaw when they're ready.
For them, and I make sure it's safe and no one cuts themselves.
That's right.
All right.
I'm going to step away for just a second. I'm having a bandwidth fluctuation. I'm going to go make sure that a couple of young ladies I know are not playing Fortnite or whatever it is that they're playing. So hang on one second.
One of your daughters is too young for Fortnite. Come on.
Vamp for a minute.
Playing Minecraft. Got to play the Minecraft. Yeah, Ryan said, Alfredo says WordPress is great. You know what? If you know what you're doing, it's great. I've been working with WordPress for 11 months now. I still don't know what I'm doing. I try to design on it and it's just terrible. So there is a difference. There's a web designer and there's a web developer. Web designer is the one that actually constructs what everything's going to look like, how everything is going to be interfaced with. The web developer actually builds it. So if you want to think about it this way, it's like an architect and a contractor. So an architect designs your house and he plans where every plug is going to go, all the wiring is going to go, what the material is going to be, and how it's going to look and stand and feel. And then maybe how it's going to, how you're going to move through the house and flow. That's all the architect's job. The architect does not build your house. He hands those plans over to a developer who then constructs your house and actually gets the material and builds it as the architect laid it out. So a web designer, which is more of what I am, designs the website's look and feel and how it's to be used. The web developer gets the template, gets the idea, the design from the designer, and then builds a website. He actually goes in and codes everything to look like what it looks like. I'm more of the designer phase, but what I do, my business is I use a CMS, a content management system, to be able to design and build at the same time. And while it's not as robust as building your own house, it's kind of like moving into a house that's already built. So I build it out for them using my own CMS. It's my own. You only get it with me. And I build it for my clients, and it has special features that are just for local businesses, because local businesses don't need to worry about things like short code that WordPress is great at. They don't need to worry about security, which you have to build in yourself with WordPress. It just comes with their site. It's on, it works. I just took a site live this morning, and within 1 hour, it was already SSL'd and just beautiful and loading fast. Google loves it. Page speed is also a beast with WordPress. My clients don't have to worry about that. So it's just a little bit more done for them, and it's really what they need. Now, if you're doing something more advanced like blogging, if you have a bunch of different systems that need to talk to each other, if you have to do like PHP server talk and databasing, you go with WordPress, because that's what that's good at. And of course, if you need super advanced blogging like we do at Church Training Academy, that's fine. But most of my clients don't need that. Not everyone needs a Ford F-350 supercharger, turbocharged Power Stroke, extended cab with the long back and the spray. Like if you were to buy a car that could do everything, I think that's what it would be. But most people don't need that. They just need a little Nissan Sentra to get to work, and that's kind of where I fit in. That's my market.
You don't even need that to get to work, dude. You could get a little electric scooter.
Okay, well, not if you're traveling 20 miles.
Right.
I think the average commute is 20 miles nowadays. It's ridiculous. So I don't want to be riding a scooter for that long. Fortnite causes upload issues. It could.
Yeah, it could.
Now you don't actually host. So the problem with gaming consoles is someone hosts the game,
right.
Whoever has the fastest internet, and then everyone kind of plugs into their internet. So that can cause issues on consoles. Ryan says, I just updated. I have a software engineer that does the heavy lifting. That's kind of what I do. Dave's my heavy lifter there. I just tell Dave it's not working and he fixes it. Alfredo says, I am more a support person, but we have a graphic designer for the flyers we use for events. Yep. Awesome. Looking forward to learning. Jason Nichols. There we go. Jason's here. Looking forward to learning.
All right. Hey, Jason.
Alfredo says he uses Blogspot via Google. Very good. Very robust. I did for a season. I did a devotional blog where I went through Ecclesiastes and I did a daily blog on using Blogger, and I was Blogspot. Blogger is by Google, right? It's called
Blogger. They ended up buying
Blogspot
it.
Where Alfredo is, but
Blogspot is Blogger.
Okay, that's what I use. Very good platform and very discoverable. A lot of people are still on there.
Of course, it's discoverable. It's Google's platform.
I mean, just searching inside of Blogger.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to read something about tools, and people find you. It's crazy. But yeah, it is Google too. So if you're going to go with the blogging platform, hey, why not Google? Just for blogging, not your website.
All right.
Yeah. So I think are we good now?
Yeah, let's roll.
It looks fine.
Let's roll.
We're still a little stuttery on YouTube.
We are. I'm having bandwidth fluctuations. It's it is up and down. I don't know. Time Warner's having an issue.
Man, Time Warner.
I know. It is what it is.
Christopher said Facebook is up. Looks like Facebook's up for me too.
Okay,
so
good.
A little glitch, but
awesome.
We're good.
Well, hello to everybody on Facebook. We're back. I'm assuming. Let me look. Yeah, it says we're still connected, so that's good. All right, guys. All right, so we're gonna get rolling here.
And before we get rolling, for those of you that are watching live, we didn't get to work on Facebook, so we went over to YouTube. Actually, we didn't even do anything. We were already broadcasting to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. You can do this too, because actually a couple months ago, Facebook went down on a Sunday morning and lots of churches could not live stream because Facebook was their only platform for live streaming. If you use a tool like Boxcast, you can go to why can't I say this, Dave? Getboxcast.com. Getboxcast, just like those three words. That's a tool that you can use to broadcast your church stream to multiple platforms at once. So if one goes down, no problem, go to the other one. You can also stream to your website directly as well. So you don't have to go through social media. If Alex Jones goes to your church and he can't get on social media, he can watch your live stream from your website. And I'm going to be looking out for angry Alex Jones emails, whatever. But anyways, getboxcast.com. You're going to be able to do exactly what we did, where it goes down one place. Okay, big whoop, we'll be somewhere else.
That's right. Yep, it is fantastico.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
All right, here we go. Here a volunteer, there a volunteer, everywhere a volunteer. The question is, where do you stick them? What are they going to do? We're going to be talking about inspiring volunteers, and it's all starting now. Dude, that was like right off the cuff, son.
That was really good. I was holding back a burp, and I forgot to mute it. I'm glad I didn't ruin it for you.
That's awesome. All right, here we go. Hey, guys, welcome to episode episode 50 of the Church Media Guys Show. My name is Dave Curley, and if we've not met in the previous 49 episodes, I am the founder of ChurchTrainingAcademy.com, which is a place where you and I and other ministry-minded folks all come together to learn how to use and exploit media and technology and everything digital so that we can take the gospel to the world. With me, as always, is my extremely lovely, extremely talented, he's not looking at his camera, I'm vamping until he does, co-host and partner, Justin Navarro. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, Dave. I'm looking at the camera right now. And if you if you're listening to the audio, thank you so much for listening to the audio. You get just a little bit more, I think, when you watch the video.
Yeah.
So if you can, throw it on your iPad or your phone while you're doing dishes, or you got to listen to audio. That's fine too. But man, what a crazy fun start to our live recording of this episode. Unbelievable that it's episode 50, and we're actually starting 20 minutes late.
Yes,
because Facebook went down.
Yeah, go figure. Go figure. Facebook
went down.
2.2 billion people are on it, and they went down.
So it looks like it was a DNS issue, because isitdownrightnow.com went down for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Facebook came back up, that came back up as well. It's probably just locked to America, but a couple months ago, if you're on our email list, we send daily emails about church media and church ministry. And I shared an email one Monday that said, hey, if you couldn't live stream yesterday, it's because Facebook went down. And you wouldn't believe the emails I got in return that said, Facebook didn't report anything. Are you sure it just wasn't your computer? I said, no, dude, here's some Facebook posts with 70 other church people that said their live stream's not working. And people say, well, it's because Facebook didn't report it, so you must be making it up, or your computer. I was like, no, Facebook goes down, and they didn't believe me. So at least everyone watching in the chat or trying to watch live today saw it is possible for Facebook to go down. It probably wasn't through no fault of their own. If it was a DNS routing issue.
Yeah. See, people don't understand how
nothing they did.
Yeah. People generally don't understand how the internet works. They think that Facebook has a computer in a closet that is running Facebook, and we're all connected to it, but it's not. We've got this gigantic mesh network all over the world with servers everywhere. And there's DNS servers, which are the phone books, basically, right? Of the internet. And so, like, at every major city, there's phone books. At every in regional, I mean, there's these phone books that tell people that when you type in facebook.com, take it over here. And sometimes those things go under attacks. And like Georgia will be down. And so the people in Georgia can't do stuff. That's just the way it is. Whereas other people, in Alabama are like, hey, Facebook didn't go down. No, it didn't go down in Alabama. It went down in Georgia. So,
so
and we'd expect it to go down in Alabama, but it didn't.
It's a very complicated system to get internet to your house. And it's one of those things that you just don't think about, because it usually always works until it goes wrong on your end. But yeah, it is possible. And I think everyone watching live just experienced it. But if you are watching the full publication, let's get into what we're talking about today. I'm really excited for this one. It's going to be a good episode.
Okay, and this is the part, guys, where we do our pro tip. So I'm going to do our little pro tip right here. It's very quick, because I'm actually...
Did you get my message, Dave? I just sent you the cost.
Oh, tell me what it is. I'm not looking.
It's 20.
Okay, I thought that's right. All right, here we go. This is our pro tip. Our pro tip today is for folks that are doing video production, which is me. I do video production. Go figure. I mean, you're watching me on video, therefore I'm doing video production. It's kind of how that works. If you're doing video production at your church, if you're doing talking head videos, announcement videos especially, if you're doing promo videos and things like that, where you have a script, where you're writing out a script. By the way, if you're not writing out a script, guys, y'all need to write out scripts. It makes the shooting process go really quick, especially if you have this idea in your head and your brain keeps going to all these different things like that, and you tend to wander off the subject and stay, kind of like I'm doing now. You need to use a script. Now, the question is, how do you get that script in front of your face when you're recording? Well, you use a teleprompter. What's a teleprompter? Well, basically, it's a mirror that's sitting at a 45-degree angle that lets you take a computer screen or a TV screen or something like that and shoot it at that mirror so that you can see it. And your camera sits on the other side looking through that glass, kind of like one of those two-way mirrors, where like when you're watching Blue Bloods or one of those cop shows or something, and they're interviewing the guy, but then the people are standing on the other side of the glass and they're watching it. That's basically what the teleprompter does. And so you can actually see your script going up, in front of you while you're looking at the camera. So like right now, if I had a teleprompter, I could have like text going up like this in front of me, and I could be reading this text, but you just see me looking at you in the camera lens. That's what a teleprompter does. There's a bunch of teleprompter software out there. It's not expensive. The one I am using is the one I tell everybody to use. It's for iOS. It's called Hold on, where'd it go? I just lost the name of it. Prompt Smart. Prompt Smart Pro?
Prompt Smart.
Thank you. Prompt Smart Pro. There we go. Okay. Picking this up. It's called Prompt Smart Pro. Prompt Smart Pro. It is cool. Now, it does cost money, and it is worth every penny of it. It is a... Dadgummit. Freaking phone calls. Would you like to buy some aluminum siding? No. Sorry. It's called Prompt Smart Pro. It costs $20, okay? And they run specials, especially when you bundle it with some other software and stuff. So they've always got stuff going on, but it costs $20. It's going to be the best $20 that you've spent on an iPhone or an iPad app to date. It is amazing. It is, get this, voice activated. Yeah, voice activated. It is the coolest thing. So what it lets you do is it lets you load up a script from various locations, from like OneDrive or Dropbox or Box, or Box is still around. Box.com still around. Google Drive. So I'll go in there and I'll write out a script for our announcement video in Google Docs. I then load up Prompt Smart on my iPad and I say import a script, and I browse to where it is, and then there it is. And then I can go in there and tweak it. I don't like saying this. I don't like saying that. I want to say it like this, whatever. When it's all said and done, I hit the play button, and it reverses the image because it's looking in a mirror, and there it is, all nice and prompter looking. And I set it on my teleprompter stand, and I see it. And one of the cool things is it's got the microphone on your iPad, and it lets you basically talk and read, and it scrolls. It's awesome. So it's not doing anything. And then when you say, "Good morning and welcome to Tay Springs Baptist Church. We're so glad you're here." All of a sudden, it starts scrolling, and it is the coolest thing. It's wonderful. It's $20. I'm going to do a little video to show you guys how I use it. You're going to love it. Get it. It will change your life. It will make your announcements, your promos, like when your pastor wants to shoot a promo, and it's like he's got some paper and he's written some stuff down, and he's got to memorize a paragraph at a time, and then he keeps botching it, and I didn't want to say it like that. Stop all that. Use a prompter. It's brilliant. Prompt Smart Pro. Okay.
Yeah, we used it for our video announcements, and we were able to get them done in a. If the talent had looked at it for a second before we started recording, it was amazing because at my computer, I had a running Google Doc,
right,
and I would just put in the announcements that week, and then run upstairs with the iPad. It automatically sees the changes from the Google Doc. And then we run it through. The thing I like too is you can use your iPhone. If you're using the iPad as a teleprompter, you can use your iPhone as the remote. So if you just need to scroll it back up, start it over, change something real quick, you can actually, me behind the camera, I don't have to walk in front and get in front and start doing all this weird stuff and wasting time. Run it right through the phone. Amazing. And honestly, the Google Doc thing was my favorite because I never had to do anything. I just opened the app and it just loaded the most recent version and I could just go.
Yeah, it's cool stuff. We love it. Yeah. Teleprompters are a must. I'm actually in the pro tip, guys. If you guys look down there, I'm going to show you the teleprompter that we bought. The one that we bought for our church, the hardware is like, I don't know, $150 or something. It wasn't one of these $1,000, high-end jobs. It's very basic. I'll show you some pictures and stuff, and it's a fantastic thing. I think I'm actually going to do some training on about how I shoot a announcement video where you guys can like see everything working all in conjunction. You guys are going to love it. Anyway, that's our pro tip. Boom. All right. So now we're going to run about 8 minutes or so of our video. How are you doing on time?
I got 9 minutes.
Okay. So
9 minutes because I got to tie my shoe.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'll just have to cut out during the.
Let's go ahead and do our closing, and then I'll run this for the folks. The clip that I put in there was the clip that he talks about how important it is to make sure that that they learn who the people are and where their strengths are and where they're best going to fit, instead of just sticking somebody. Justin, you're going to go teach the third graders. No, you may want to work in the children's ministry, but you don't like being around kids, so they help you work in some of the administrative stuff or something like that. It's the importance of doing that. So let's just recap on that, and then we'll wrap, okay?
Okay.
Danny Franks. Yes?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So what'd you think? Danny's, God, all those campuses, I mean, can you believe I have like 5 or 6 people in our booth that I kind of help. I don't even do the wrangling. I've got somebody that does the wrangling for me, and he's doing this like across campus and stuff. It blows my mind, and it's all seems to be working.
Well, it's like we talked about. It's about the systemizing.
Yeah.
It's about the systemization. So eventually, once you have something down pat, you don't have to trust the end goal. You just trust the system. So kind of like I was trying to explain my daughter's morning routine, and I never think about I got to get her to school by 7:30. I got to get her by school. What am I going to do? Every morning is going to be, no, every morning is the same. She wakes up at 6, she goes potty, she gets dressed while I heat up her waffles or whatever. She eats, and then she watches TV while I get dressed, and then I take her to school, and we leave the house by 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's our system every morning. And you know what? I don't ever have to think about her being to school on time, because if I follow the system, she gets to school on time. So
right.
I think that's what we're talking about. You need to have a system of, what your volunteers are going to go through. And then you're no longer concerned with, I got to get more people in volunteers. I got to get more people. If you just have a system that you move people through,
mm-hmm.
You don't have to think about it that much. You don't have to stress about it that much. And it just works.
Right.
And you're going to have to experiment to get the system. But once you get that down, it's the same thing every time.
Yeah. And I like
scale that up.
I like their approach. One of the things that stuck out, he says the first thing we do when someone joins the church is or comes to us or whatever is make sure that they have that relationship with Christ, because everything kind of stems from that, and that's like the most important thing, and then find out where their aptitudes are, and then find out where they have these aptitudes. Where's their heart? What do they want to help with? Instead of just like we need you to fill a hole. Like putting butts in seats. They're not putting butts in seats. They're identifying these areas of service and then identifying the people that are best gifted and more importantly have the heart to serve in that capacity and stuff. And I think that's huge. Absolutely huge. By the way, if you guys are interested in learning stuff like this, kind of going more in depth with things like this, this is a little bit of an aberration because, we're not teaching a course or anything on getting volunteers and stuff, but we're able to plug you in with somebody who is an expert on managing volunteers. But if you've got other things that you want to learn, if you want to learn some of the technical stuff like building the website, doing a live stream, doing video announcements. I mentioned earlier in the show that I'm putting training together to teach you guys how to do the video announcements, how we do it at our church, and how it's working. And actually, believe it or not, that actually kind of marries with the volunteers because I'm bringing in other people. I've got an 86-year-old lady who is interested in doing the announcements and stuff. So learning how to marry all this stuff together into your media ministry, your communications for your church, and the running of the public face of your church and such, then you want to become a Church Training Academy member, a CTA Insider. Wouldn't you say, Justin?
Absolutely. You're going to get kind of that community of people on the same journey. And we do have a community we're building up in Church Media Hacks.
Yeah.
This one is more focused on going a little bit more personal, more project tracking, I think, because we all know each other and we know the projects we're working on, partly because of the group coaching we meet every 2 weeks.
Right.
But it really becomes following along. Okay, you got the IP cameras, so you're having this network issue. Okay, Jordan knows networking. He's an insider. Y'all can connect with each other. Mm-hmm. And since you're both insiders, you've kind of technically been vetted. You're okay working with another stranger. Mm-hmm. And following along, and we know that Tommy's redoing his website, so we can follow along with that and slowly make changes on that. So you're not just on your own. You're not just buying a course and then you're just like, it's 45 minutes of how to, and then you're just kind of like, okay, now what do I do? How do I even know if I did it right? You know how to paint a wall. That's not that hard. You get the roller, you do this, you try to make it, but then you need someone to come and say, that needs a second coat over there, or you didn't trim the wall just right. And that's what
got to do the corners. Got to do the corners.
That's right. So that's kind of the extra boost that CTA Insiders. That's what you get. You get that tracking. You get that hands-on assistance because we're just even that much more closer and even that much more not alone.
Yeah.
If I may say so
myself. And what's cool is you get to share your knowledge. So when someone has had that problem, that you solved this problem last year because that's where you guys were, and now they're coming across the same problem, then you can immediately cut to the chase and say, yeah, don't spend the next 3 weeks experimenting on stuff. Let me show you exactly what to get. Here is the hardware. Here is the software. Here's the technique that we did. That is huge. And sometimes that comes from me and Justin, but I think the real value is when, like you said, like Jordan says, Tommy, here's how you solve the problem. These are two people that would not have known each other anywhere else in the world, maybe come across each other peripherally in another group or something, but because they're CTA insiders, they're developing a friendship, and now you're able to start building your little team. Guys, you just have to do it. churchtrainingacademy.com/join. Dude, this has been an interesting episode. For those that,
been a good episode.
For those that,
by the way, Facebook went back down for some of us.
Of course it did. And see that's the thing. That's what makes episode 50 really interesting. Is we start off good, Facebook goes down, we throw everybody over to YouTube, and then and somewhere in between we got all this meat from Danny and stuff. So fantastic episode. Happy 50th, dude.
Yeah. Hey, can we do something crazy?
Should all acquaintance be forgot? No. Okay. What?
Christopher Hall.
Yes.
Is a name that comes up a lot.
All the time. I see him everywhere.
He's one of our rabid followers.
He's not foaming at the mouth.
He is for that information, but also to help, because Chris just said, he commented on YouTube. He said, once my budget allows for it, then I will sign up for CTA. I want to be able to help others with my tech knowledge. It's 50 episodes, Dave. I think we should give away a CTA Insider membership. And I think Christopher Hall has proven that he likes what we're doing. He wants to help others. I think we should give him a membership until he can get his own, get his budget in line. And so for happy 50, Christopher, is that okay, Dave? You're the CEO, so I
am fine with that. I am fine with that. Christopher, you are going to be getting an email from me here in just a little bit. So we're going to celebrate our 50th by giving away a membership to you, dude. Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for jumping in with both feet in the Church Media Hacks group, and giving Justin and I suggestions offline, and just your heart and all that sort of stuff. Absolutely fantastic.
Very cool.
Fantastic.
Very cool.
That's a good way to end the show.
That is, I think, a good way to end the show. So that's the one time only thing. We'll give away another one at 100. So don't be spamming comments.
Yeah, don't be doing that. Yeah, we don't want to hear your hard luck story. We want to help you learn how to work through your hard luck story.
Christopher said, thanks, guys. LOL. Don't know what to say. Chris, you've said enough just by helping others. And we want you to further help our insiders, and hopefully us help you as well.
Yeah. Pay it forward. Pay it forward.
So, thank you guys for watching. And I got nothing else to say.
How about take all the stuff that you've learned today and go change lives.
Woo!
That was it. All right.
I gotta go.
So you cut out.
Live, don't freak out, because you're gonna play the volunteer.
Yes, I'm gonna let everybody see. Let everybody get a taste of that.
Okay. I have to go meet someone. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I gotta check out. So thank you, guys. Chris, look forward to seeing you in the Insiders. Dave, can you follow up with him?
Yes, absolutely.
Because you have the back end stuff.
I do. Awesome. All right, go ahead. Go, dude.
Christopher he's a great member in Sunday U. So he'll be a great member in or not Sunday U. What's it called? It is Sunday U.
Yeah.
He'll be a great member in Insiders too. So
yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
You guys. Happy 50.
Thanks. Happy 50 to you. And he's out of here. Holy cow! Look, this is what happens when. Look at that. Isn't that weird? Sorry, that was the double screen there. All right, so let's go ahead and get our video going here. I'm just going to check. Facebook's been up and down. I'm just checking the... Okay, awesome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play our little excerpt. We got about 8 minutes of this excerpt from our interview with Danny, and Danny's cool. When you guys see what he's doing, you guys are going to be blown away. So here's Danny. Danny Franks is the pastor of guest services at Summit Church in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina, where he's been since 2003. He oversees guest services for 9 campuses. He's a dad and a husband, and his passion is to help outsiders become insiders, and then to help the insiders reach the outsiders. Danny, thanks for taking time to hang out with the church media guys. How you doing?
Doing well, Dave. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Give everybody a brief rundown of the kind of things you do. When you said guest services, I'm sitting here thinking like hotel management.
Right. So I've been in this role, as you mentioned, for 15 years. And in this role, I basically oversee anything on the weekend that is not happening on stage and is not related to an age-graded ministry. So anything from the street to the seat, the parking lot to the pew, however you want to say that, our team oversees parking, seating, setup, our first-time guest process, anything with just pure logistics of the weekend service. Again, that's off stage. We handle that. And so at all of our campuses, we have varying numbers of volunteers that execute those ministries at every campus. And so that's my role is more of a central role to help execute a lot of those plans, oversee quality control, DNA spread from campus to campus, just making sure that when you are at one of our campuses, you feel like you are a part of the Summit Church, that there is not a huge disparity from one location to the other as far as the way that we help our guests move from point A to point B.
Very cool. So part of your job then is to recruit people to come under your umbrella of services. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah, we work a lot with potential volunteers, regardless of whether they are coming into our ministry or into one of our production teams or into our kids teams or whatever. A large part of what we do is just intercepting new people as they're coming in. And so we want to capitalize on the excitement of new people. A lot of times they're coming in looking for relationships, looking for opportunities to serve. And so part of our team's role is to help connect them to specific areas in the church, specifically on the weekend where they have some on-ramps to serve. And so, again, sometimes we recruit them to our team. Sometimes it's helping them find a spot on another team, but that's a large part of what we do.
So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to say one more thing here, Dave. So about how many, you oversee 9 campuses,
Mm-hmm.
about how many volunteers do you shepherd into their volunteer roles?
Yeah, great question. So the goal is, obviously, we want to see 100% of the people who show up sign up and have an opportunity to serve somewhere. We know that there are some people that are just here checking us out for the first time, but we really want to be able to see a large percentage of our weekend attendance serving in some sort of capacity, whether that is inside the walls or outside the walls. It doesn't really matter to us. We just want them to be able to discover the areas that they are wired for, and to use those giftings in order to serve either the larger congregation here or to serve the city that's around us. And so because we know that every single person has a specific skill set, a specific way that God has wired them, we're really interested in helping them to uncover that and to utilize that in a way to serve other people. So I guess the short answer to that would be we want everybody to find their place to serve and to get plugged in, again, either here at the church or out in the community.
So are you guys, how are you uncovering these? At our church, one of the first things that we do, if you're interested in our church, if you're a visitor at our church, even if you have no interest in our church, we offer a spiritual gifts workshop, and that's kind of the front door to come in to our church to help you understand where you're gifted and where those gifts can be used in our church. So are you guys doing something similar to that? Are you putting them through a spiritual gifts test, or is it like, hey, I'm real good at directing people where to park. I do it at the high school. And so they're like, okay, great. You're going to be working the parking lot ministry next. How do you handle all that?
Yeah. I have taken more people than I can count through spiritual gift surveys and tests and all of those different things. And we have used those in the past at our church, but now it is more helping people understand what the opportunities are and just giving them enough on-ramps and enough information with those on-ramps that they kind of know where their areas are. We want to give people a pretty clear menu of what is available. So I mentioned earlier, our 2 big categories are going to be inside the walls and outside the walls. For us, inside the walls is going to be our weekend services. There are basically 6 areas where they can serve. One is going to be on our guest services team. Another one's going to be in our kids ministry. Another in our student ministry. We have a prayer team that meets during all of our services. We have a production team that does a lot of our media tech things, and then we have a worship team. And so giving them those 6 options, a lot of times people can kind of sometimes they assume wrongly, but they can assume what some of those things are. But we want to be able to help them to see this is the menu, if you're looking inside the walls, of some very easy on-ramps for you to be able to jump in and serve. There are dozens, maybe hundreds of opportunities for people to get plugged in various areas. I mean, at a church our size, there's always going to be more opportunities than you can count. But we really want to be able to limit that menu when people are coming in early, because we don't want to overwhelm them with options. We want to give them just some very easy steps in order to get plugged in.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. With what's called analysis paralysis.
Yes.
Like, hey, we want you to get involved. We got this. Then whoa, don't forget about this. And it's like,
right. Yeah.
Whoa. So do you limit it to like the main ministries of your church, which I would assume is like guest services, maybe kids and music ministry, or do you find out what their strengths are and then find 3 ministries based off of those strengths or interests?
Yeah, a lot of that is going to depend on the way that the campus has set it up. So at all of our campuses, we do a monthly event called Starting Point, which is just simply there to help people figure out exactly what their next steps are. Coming out of Starting Point, we really have 3 things that we want to introduce people to. Number 1 is going to be salvation. Obviously, we want to make sure that we are very, very clear on introducing people to a relationship to Jesus is the most important thing that we can do. If we tell you all the things that we offer as a church, but we don't introduce you to Jesus, then we've ultimately failed you. So from the very beginning, we want to be clear about that. But then after that, we want to introduce them as well to small groups and an opportunity to serve. And so out of that comes those 2 kind of big, broad umbrellas, inside the walls, outside the walls. And then if it's inside, it's those 6 things that I mentioned. Outside the walls, we've partnered with dozens of community ministries that we can help funnel them to. But yeah, a lot of that just really comes down to Justin. It comes down to just simple conversations, figuring out what their heartbeat is, what their passion is. There are people who, to take kids ministry, for example, who say, well, I don't really like working with kids. You can be in kids ministry and never have to work with kids. You can, help put together curriculum or help develop resources or whatever it is. And so we want to make sure that we are understanding the person before we try to give them a position. And we just want it to be helpful to them. It's not about us filling in all of our different, empty spots on the org chart. It's really about understanding specifically how God has wired them, and then knowing enough about the ministry opportunities around here to make some suggestions on some next steps that they might want to take.
There we go. So that's just a part of our interview with Mr. Franks. Very interesting. Can you imagine having to wrangle volunteers? I mean, if you're a big church and, 1,500, you're going to have a lot of volunteers, and you got an auditorium that seats, 1,000 or seats 2,000 or something. You got a whole lot of people. Can you imagine, like, across all those different campuses and stuff? The guy's got a lot to offer in the way of knowledge. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys. In a couple weeks, this episode will be coming out on the podcast and as a blog post and all that sort of stuff. So be sure that you get it. By the way, guys, those of y'all that are watching live right now, if you have not subscribed to our podcast, go subscribe, please. Audio or video or both, whatever you want. I don't even know. We don't even really talk about the podcast yet. We haven't done any real heavy, like pushing to try to drive people to subscribe to the podcast. I don't know why. Probably because we got a million other things happening at the same time right now. But do that. Go to CTA Podcast, ctapodcast.com. I'm actually getting ready to revamp this page. I've got some new artwork, and this was like one of the first pages I made. If you want to go look at it, I'll show you. It still says CTA Live before we changed over to the Church Media Guy show. So it's everything's getting ready to be rebranded and stuff, but you can still get the links to subscribe on iTunes or Google Play or Stitcher, or subscribe to the YouTube channel and stuff. And I've even got some little video tutorials about how to do it in this app or that app or whatever. So anyway, go subscribe. I want to get those subscriptions up, and I would love it if you guys would leave a review on iTunes. That would be awesome. That'll help us get discovered more as we do that. We're putting a lot into these episodes, and we want as many people to be reached by the stuff that we're doing here. And if they never become a Church Training Academy CTA insider, that's fine. We just want to bless them, and we want to share this knowledge. And we are, I mean, you just saw who we interviewed here, and we've interviewed a lot of really good people. These interviews have a lot of meat in it and stuff, and people can be blessed through this. And we want, so share it, tell everybody, tell your friends, tell your mom. So, what? Anyway, ctapodcast.com, guys. It's so funny. What do you call it? Facebook has been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Tommy is asking a question. What are the benefits to a podcast versus YouTube? That is a really good question. In fact, I'm going to stop this recording and start a new recording, because this is something Tommy would actually be asking in our mastermind group, and we'll be going into a lot of depth on it. What is the benefit to a podcast versus YouTube? Tommy, that question is being misasked. And it's because there's not one versus the other, there's both. Okay? So YouTube is a video hosting platform on the largest search engine in the world. Okay? YouTube. Think about it, Tommy. Think about anybody watching this. When we've kind of moved over to the point where when it's time for us to get a question answered, to find out how to do something, we go to Google and search it, and then we watch a YouTube video. My wife, my beautiful, fantastic wife, has repaired our washing machine 3 or 4 times without having to call the Maytag guy to come out here and pay $80 for them to show up at the door sometime between 8 and 5 on Tuesday, and then, diagnose the problem and then tell us it's going to be $300 to replace the part for him to install it. When, reality is we could go buy a new one for $500, right? But she's replaced it. She bought the $16 part off of Amazon and watched a YouTube video and started. That is the benefit of YouTube, okay? So it is a place where you can get your message out, number one, to people who only watch YouTube. It gives you the ability to embed that into a blog post to make it even more discoverable, more searchable. It is a free video hosting platform. Now, with the YouTube app and stuff, you have easier access to those videos. That's fine. When you come to a podcast, an audio podcast or a video podcast, you have more flexibility. Number one, a lot of our cars nowadays have the ability for our phones to tie into our car, sometimes seamlessly. Sometimes we have to plug it in, but seamlessly. So now with the audio version of this show, and there is a little difference between the audio version and the YouTube version. If you guys are watching, you'll notice that when we do, when we release this episode on YouTube, we cut out the portion where we're doing the pro tip. We know that the people on YouTube and the people that are watching or reading our blog posts and stuff, they want to get into the meat of what they're searching for, learning how to wrangle your volunteers or inspire your volunteers. So we don't want, 7, 8, 9, 12 minutes of a pro tip to get in the way. So we welcome everybody. We vamp for a sec and visit, and then we jump into our thing 3 minutes in or something like that. We get into the meat, and then 45 minutes later, it's over. On our podcast version, we have the whole thing in there so that if you're watching it on iTunes or on your Roku or something like that, you can actually sit back, or at your desk or whatever, you can sit back and kind of get the full experience. if you're listening to it in audio, if depending on how involved the pro tip is, like for the audio version of this, I'm going to leave the pro tip in. Okay, so because I just kind of explained stuff and I didn't have to show you anything. But when I actually publish the pro tip, I'm actually going to record a whole nother video that's going to go up giving the same information but also showing it and stuff. So at your church, having an audio podcast gives you the ability to take the sermon and just publish the sermon and publish it so that, almost like a radio show, so that people can listen to it and consume it while they're doing other things. Okay, but if you also put it up on YouTube, then you can embed it in the blog post, and then now they can be sitting down on their phone or on their laptop or go to the YouTube app on their Roku device or whatever and watch it there as well. So also having the podcast, having basically an RSS feed, right, for your video and your audio gives you the ability to syndicate it to a whole bunch of different places. So you could make a Roku channel for your church and have all your sermons in there. And so instead of going to YouTube and then, you've seen the interface, right? It's horrible. It's like there's the alphabet and the numbers, and you're like A. Okay, so dun, 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 T for Tate, A, T, click, 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 E, click, 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 space, click, 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 S, P. That's hard. Okay. But if you have a Roku channel, then they can just go to channels and then type in Tate Springs, and then boom, Sundays at Tate Springs, and install, add channel, boop, there it is. You could do that. Harvest does that. Go check out the Harvest channel. Greg Laurie, right? Go check out the channel that they have. They've got their Thursday night Bible studies. They got their Saturday night and their Wednesday and their just series and all this sort of stuff. Really, really cool. If you're doing a video podcast, hosting it on Podbean or something like that, you get that RSS feed and you get the ability to send all that and do tons more. Now, I know I've explained a whole lot more than what you asked, but hey, let's pretend it was Mastermind. That was free. Did that help, Tom? Let's see. I'm going to check the comments. Our church celebrated 100. This is Jace Melosh. Our church celebrated 150 years 2 years ago, and volunteers are a crucial part. Yeah, I can imagine. 150 years. We're at like 137, 138. I guess you guys are our big brothers. If your church just does audio, then especially use a podcast. Yeah, absolutely. We were actually talking to somebody doing an interview last night with the guys that run Behind the Mixer. It's a great website, by the way, guys. Go check it out, behindthemixer.com. And we were talking about all of that. And we're not doing CD ministry much anymore at our church, are we? DVD ministry, what, 2? Right? I mean, it's moving out of there. So the delivery, especially for audio, doesn't take up a whole lot of the bandwidth. It doesn't take up a whole lot of the data on their phones and stuff. So definitely do that. And let me tell you something about audio. Think about a podcast that you listen to. I listen to the Ray Edwards show. I love Ray Edwards. He's a copywriter. I also listen to Ben Settle, the Ben Settle show. He is a copywriter as well. Both of them have tremendous business insights, marketing insights. I've got those guys literally in the center of my head when I have my earbuds in. I'm listening to them. It's an intimate conversation. He is whispering in my ear the knowledge. And it's like radio. If you like talk radio, I love talk radio. If you like talk radio and you're driving in your car and you're listening to, I don't know, whatever you listen to, it's just you and that host in your car. And that host is talking to 30 million people. But in your car, your host is talking to you. And it's just you and the host going down the highway together, and he's explaining things to you or asking questions or doing stuff. That is the power of audio. That is the power of a podcast. That happens with your sermons as well. When the pastor is just speaking into the ear, reading scripture into the ear, teaching into the ear while you're mowing or whatever. It's a very, very intimate platform. It's a very intimate medium, and it is huge. We are actually doing a show with Paul Colligan in a few weeks Paul Colligan is he's one of the original podcasters. I mean, he started back when I was starting, back in the early days. And he's got tremendous insights about the medium, and the power that it has, and the power that it has for churches and stuff, and a great example, his church, as well. So be looking forward to that. Podcasting is huge, guys. I'm not saying you should be podcasting. You have to be podcasting, and I'm dead serious. If you have a pastor that's sitting up there speaking to 30 people on a weekly basis, if he's good enough or has enough insight to sit there and speak to you and for you to receive the knowledge and the Bible study and the wisdom that he's bringing, doesn't it stand to reason that everybody else on the planet should have that option as well? You know, I mean, he's not an idiot. I mean, you guys hired him. You see what I'm saying? So everybody should be podcasting, period. No questions asked. Why would you not? Why would you say, you know what? The only thing we're going to do is we're going to teach the word inside the walls. You have to come in here. We don't want you learning it any other way. You have to be sitting in the seat. You have to. We're a cult. Podcast. It's awesome. I'm going to get off my high horse. Get off my soapbox. Got a splinter in my foot anyway. All right, let's see. Anybody else in here? You're welcome, Tom. By the way, if you guys can't tell, I'm passionate about this stuff. I really am. I mean, that's so much makes sense in my head. I hope I can clearly communicate it. Oh, and what was it that Ben Settle says? That if they ask you to walk on eggshells, crush the eggshells and let the chips fall where they may? Okay. I'm just having fun with you guys. Let's see. If your church does audio, then especially use podcasts. Yes, absolutely. The only issue you've had with Facebook was we were getting copyright notices from our pre-service music. Yeah, you're going to. Facebook's copyright, the Content ID system is... it's misidentifying. It doesn't take into account that you may have a CCLI license. You may have a broadcast and streaming license. It's like, we got to turn it off because we're going to get sued. Okay. YouTube was like that in the beginning as well. They are a whole lot less like that because they have put together a proper Content ID system. And if it does misidentify, if it does make a strike, then they give you the benefit of the doubt. And basically you say, hey, I'm going to challenge this, and they turn it all back on, and then you present your challenge, and they have 30 days to refute your challenge and reinstate it. 9 times out of 10, if you're being honest, you're not lying, then that's it. You never hear from them again concerning that issue. I mean, some of you probably heard me tell this. I had a show, Entertainment Geeks. It was a movie review show, talk show, me and a couple of buddies. And in between the segments, because we were doing this on our local AM talk radio station here, we had to build in commercial breaks and stuff. So we would do our show in segments, just like I do on the All In show that I do for the Biz TV network. We've got these, we're like a 9-minute segment, 11-minute segment, a 13-minute segment, a 9-minute segment, So in between there, for the podcast, for the show, I would go ahead, like for the video, the YouTube one, I would go ahead and play a trailer. So if we've been talking about a movie that we like, I'm going to show the trailer during that time. It's just another value add for the person who's watching the show. Instead of, fade to black, fade back up, we keep talking. Let's go ahead and just flesh this whole thing out. Let them see the trailer of the movie. So I was getting all kinds of content strikes. And the thing was that I was using exactly what the studios asked me to use. I mean, literally, the studios were saying, here, show this trailer. Here, play this B-roll interview. Show this behind-the-scene footage. There's a company or a website called EPK.TV, Electronic Press Kit .tv, and that is where all the studios send their trailers. They do their junket interviews and stuff. When you're watching your local news, let's say you're watching, let's say you're watching CNN or Fox or something like that, and they're interviewing Dwayne Johnson for Skyscraper. So what they will do is they will actually have somebody that goes out, a reporter that goes out to, the Anatole in Dallas, because that's where the junket is happening, and they will, you've got 10 minutes, and so it's your turn. You go in. They have cameras. They have it all set up and all that. You sit down and you're like, Dwayne, tell me about Skyscraper. What brought you to this thing? What was it like doing your own stunts? And they do the interview. When it's done, they hand you a couple of SD cards, and then you take it home and edit it and put it up on your local news affiliate or whatever. Okay. Now, there's others that don't get to have options for that. So they have a generic one where somebody is off camera and asks the questions, and then you can take his answers and cut them together. You can even put yourself on a green screen with a background from that room and act as if you're the one who's conducting that interview and stuff. So they put all that stuff up there, and they say, here, use this for press, for PR, for promoting our film. And then YouTube goes, sorry, this is copyrighted material. You can't use this, so we're going to take it down. And then you say, no, here's the form, here's them, do that a few times. And then they say, oh, this channel's legit. It's fair use. He's using it the way it's intended, so we're not going to strike him anymore for any of this kind of stuff. Facebook's not at that point yet. I don't know why. They're a gigantic company. Don't ask me why. Our rule of thumb at our church, and I haven't done it if you've been watching, I haven't done it for the last 2 weeks because I've been out of town, and I have not completely taught the process to my second person does know it, but he's been out of town, so I was like third or fourth in line. And this is a person who has not been fully trained and will do my job once a year versus, every 3 weeks, right? So I did it where I was broadcasting the whole thing, and these sections get muted. We're not even using tracks. We're performing it ourselves. Our license says if you perform it yourself, you're singers, you're playing the music, you're doing all this, then you can broadcast it, you can stream it, you can record it, you can publish it, all that sort of stuff. That's what our license says to do. And that includes going to Facebook. Facebook says it's music, so copyright violation. We're muting it. Where on Facebook, somebody show me, where on Facebook can I say dispute and then provide the information? If they've opened that up, I don't know where it is yet. So that's the deal. The way I do it at our church, I start the Facebook stream at the beginning of the preaching. And that actually serves two reasons. One reason is that I don't have to mess with the stuff being muted and people sitting there watching it and just saying, not going to get anything out of that. They're just going to see Curtis up there playing a guitar and mouthing. That doesn't do anything good for the viewer. The other thing is that think about how you use Facebook. You're sitting there with your phone and you're scrolling through and you're scrolling through and you're scrolling through, and then you see something interesting and you stop and you unmute, right? What is it that makes you stop? Are you going to stop if you see a choir of 45 people in a wide shot? Are you going to think, ooh, I have to hear this? Some people will. The average person won't. However, if somebody is standing there speaking, or maybe there's some words scrolling on the page or something like that, then they will stop and they will turn it on. Now, that's the findability benefit of publishing on Facebook. The people of your church that want to go and watch on Facebook, that's fine too. They will join at the beginning of the sermon. If they want to, and you'll train them because you're promoting it properly at church, you'll tell them, if you want to join us for the entire full service live, then go to tastesprings.com/live, and that is where you will see our full, full thing, and it'll say starting in 3 minutes, and then good morning, welcome, and play, because no one can tell you to take it down off your own website unless there's people out there just trolling your websites and trying to look for something because you have it embedded on your website. It's your production on your website. You're doing it. You have your license. You can provide your license. See what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm babbling. Why? Because I'm hungry. Anybody else? And you can put your podcast on Google Play now. Yes. You've been able to put your podcast on Google Play for a long time. Google now has a podcast app. Just saying. Been on Google Play since 2016, something like that. So yes, but they have the podcast app. I'm actually going to do a review of that. They're still working out some kinks and stuff, but I'm going to. I've added it on my phone. I've not played with it yet. I actually use Pocket Cast. I love Pocket Cast. It's really cool. Thanks. Understand. More gooder now. Okay, good. Yeah, he's from Alabama, y'all. Chris says he likes Behind the Mixer. Let's see. Jace says CD Ministry. We had a massive order from this lady that wanted every sermon we've recorded on DVD. The funny part is that all of our sermons are on the website for free. Yeah, they are. Let me tell you something. That's why we still have a DVD duplicator. There's just some practicality, okay, that you really need to think about. I mean, unless your church is like 40 and below, you know, I'm not talking about how many people. I'm talking about the ages of the people. Unless your church is like basically Gen Xers down, then people have DVD players. There's a reason Redbox is still sitting outside the entrance to Kroger, because people have DVD and Blu-ray players. That's a reality. That's easy, right? My grandmother, 97 years old, she doesn't walk anymore. But earlier, you know, when she was like 89, I showed her how to take a DVD, put it in, how to hit input on her television, and now there's the DVD logo, and hit play, and then she could watch the DVD of Grandpa's 80th birthday party, where we all roasted him. You know, that's just the reality. The older people in your church, the people that are maybe your parents' age and older and stuff, it is easy for them to get a DVD, drop it in, and play it, or get a DVD and email it to a friend. You know, the children's musical, right, or the drama thing, or something like that. You know, we've got a Christian school as a part of our church. God, I don't know how many kids are on that stage. Good Lord. But I mean, you know, hundreds of kids. So it stands to reason that, you know, yes, we will make it available digitally. You can watch it on the church's website or on the church's YouTube page. However, you know, if they're going to send it to great grandma, how are they going to do it? Hey, great grandma, go to youtube.com/Tate Springs Baptist Church, and then click on the playlist that says musicals. You know, hey, grandma, go check your email. I sent a link to you. And grandma, I mean, what's your grandma's email address? What's your great grandma's email address? Am I making my point? Man, I'm on a soapbox today, guys. This is what happens when Justin goes away. I just rant and vamp. Let's see. Podcasting should be an automatic for every church. Yes. Join the club. I'm the same way about being so passionate. Yes. I saw a lot of those interviews and content when I helped do a newscast for our university. Oh, cool. Now we don't have a problem with the music in our denomination when we stream to Facebook. Oh, Christopher, you said now you don't have a problem with it. Is that because you're only broadcasting from the sermon forward, or because you've been able to prove to Facebook that you're legit and you're not stealing, you know, the latest Beyonce video and trying to pass it off as your own? 90% are 60 and above. Oh, at Tommy's church, yeah. Justin and you have had your soapbox moments today. Yeah, we have. Yes. And that's, you know what? That's one of the things that we like about having a show and having a podcast, having a live stream, being able to interact with our audience like we have been with you guys today, which, by the way, is awesome. It's one of the best times of my week, is being able to like just talk to you guys and rant and do stuff. My wife gets tired of it because she's in here going, seriously, I know, I like podcasts. Podcasts are good. Yeah, it's okay. You know, and my daughter's going, okay, we get it. We like podcasts too, Dad. Go talk to, you know, I'm standing in the mirror going, you should be podcasting. Anyway, I got to go, guys. I got stuff to do. I'm hanging out with our bassist, Bobby, and our new family minister tonight. We're going to the arcade and playing Dig Dug and Frogger and stuff. So anyway, I got to get a few things done. I love you guys. Thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all for hanging out, asking questions. Thank y'all for being flexible and jumping over to YouTube. Don't forget, you can do this all on YouTube. You don't have to do it on Facebook. So either way, we're watching both. Justin usually keeps both of them open. Because I'm doing all the production stuff, I usually just keep one open. But anyway, that's that, guys. Love y'all. Take care. Like I said earlier, take what you've been learning and go change lives with it. Let's see. I'm going to fade to black. Let me fade to black. Here we go.